Hello, I'm John. Welcome. We've got a great little fireside chat now with artist Marvin Chew, live from Singapore. Let's say hello to him now. Hi, Marvin. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm fine. I'm good.
Good, good. And what time is it over there? It's early afternoon in the UK, but I think it's probably quite late for you at the moment.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock at night in Singapore
Oh,
now.
okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us at this time. Um, so I wanted to really, well, first of all, say hi. It's been quite a few months, if not a year or so, since we last
Yes.
hosted you, and you've been really busy. You've not done many workshops except locally. It's predominantly because you've been focused on creating lots of original artworks and commissions and things. And one of the key things, the reason Marvin was so busy last year and we couldn't get hold of him at all was because he was preparing a massive gallery exhibition of his work, and I think Marvin has got the gallery brochure that he can walk you through and show you and talk about some of his artworks, which I can't wait for. And if you've got any questions as we go through that, please do. We're also going to be talking a little bit later. We've been discussing maybe doing an art series with Marvin later on this year, which he's excited to do. So we would like to get a few ideas from you, the live audience, to see whether we've come up with a few ourselves, but just see whether anything sort of resonates with you. And we can join in with that art series, which would be really exciting. We're also going to announce something as well that we're going to be launching on our sister platform, Arty Unlimited, where we have started to showcase original and print artworks by various artists, and we may be launching something with Marvin on that as well. So, a few things to cover, but first of all, these artworks. The reason we couldn't get you last year, Marvin. Let's have a look. You've got a brochure, I think, that you can
Mhm.
share with us.
Thank you, John. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. So what John was talking about is this art catalog. It's full of my paintings inside. So I had a solo exhibition, which is my fourth solo exhibition with a local gallery in Singapore. They're called Cap of Good Hope. I don't know why it's called Cap of Good Hope, but that's what the gallery's name is. Um, so what I'm going to do now is to share a few files. So basically, I've been busy, really busy for the past 1.5 years since late 2022, I guess, creating artwork and doing commission work. And I've been working very closely with this gallery ever since COVID happened, basically. Right after COVID, right after the lockdown, there are several clients who want to do some commission works, and I've been helping them creating artworks. That's why I was really busy. I have no time for teaching. So I haven't been teaching since 21, I guess. Yeah. And just recently, I just did a couple of physical workshop with the local art store here in Singapore. Yeah, but so let's go through. So in this catalog, in my exhibition, I had kind of four different themes. The first one is, so you can see from here, the first one is Singapore Colors and Sights. So it's all the landscapes and street scenes of Singapore, followed by Rustic Living, which is the rural or more rural and villages throughout Southeast Asia, particularly in Malaysia, because that's where I come from. So right after COVID, when travels are allowed again, I went back to my country, my home country, just to visit villages and paint on location. Travel impressions, sketches, and plein air pieces. They're smaller that I did during my travels. Sometimes I just, if I'm in a rush of time, I'll snap a few pictures and then come back and paint it in my studio. And the last one, some of the commission works that I did for the gallery. So just quickly scroll through. So I'll just hang in maybe like 2, 3 seconds for each painting so that you can have a bit of time to look at them.
Thank you.
This is actually if you look at this, it's a when you spread it out on the full 2 pages, there are panorama pieces. So if you look at the measurements, 50 by 130 cm. So the length is like 1.3 meters. It's really huge for watercolor work. So I have to purchase what do you call the whole watercolor roll and cut the paper myself. And I've never done such a long format before, like panoramic format. Sorry, if you look at this, yeah, this is the right side of the painting.
Yeah.
This is the left side of the painting. So how this come about is it's actually the
Marvin,
idea.
did you find that difficult from a drying time perspective? Because it's such a
Yes,
big canvas.
yes, definitely. So the first piece I did, I wasn't really happy with them because I really struggled with the long format. I've done big painting before, but it is still within a regular rectangle format. Whereas this one, because it's a panoramic view, it's the long stretch of it. So when I have a bit of a problem balancing the left side of the composition with the right side of the composition, not just because it's a long stretch, but because also it's very huge. 1.3 meter for watercolor is really long and huge. So when I paint on the left side, the right side has dried up, and I really like you said, I really struggled on my first try. But after a while, I figured I can't paint it like the normal way I do for smaller piece of watercolor. So I have to, paint it like piecemeal. I'll start from the middle or the left, complete that side, and slowly move on to the other sides. And that gives another problem because you need to link the entire composition. So that took a bit of time in terms of planning the design and composition. But
And I guess the
I'm really
consistency of the consistency and mix of colors as well, because you're obviously going to run
yes,
out
yes.
of those mixes, aren't you?
Yeah, so you have to use big brushes, especially all the huge wash on the water. The first wash is you really, yeah, like you said, you really mix a lot of paints and using big brush, big mop brush. And the idea was actually from the gallery. They said why they really gave me this challenge to challenge that they asked if I can do something very different from other watercolor artists, because we want to do this exhibition well. We don't want it to be like any other normal watercolor artist. So come up with something different. Then they suggest, why don't you try a panoramic view, a large scroll? So okay, I'll give it a shot. So I produced 5 of these tile paintings.
Wow. Wow.
So this is yeah, you can see the full stretch here. It's reduced in one whole page, but it's the same measurement.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen said, can't imagine painting watercolor that big. It's amazing and it captures the light incredibly.
Thank you, thank you. So just a run through of it. I believe this was the second piece I did. The first one is the same scene, but I couldn't, as you can see, there are buildings on the left, there are buildings on the right, and the main focal area I would say is the yellow building. And during the first try, I really struggled to tie them up together, and I ruined that. So this is the second try. And this is on the cover, and this is out of the 5 pieces I did, I believe this was my best piece of the panoramic series. This is a night, it's not really night, but maybe dusk, around 7 o'clock, I guess, when the sun has set and the sky is still very blue. I can see all the street lights are switched on. So this is the whole stretch. This is the Chinatown in Singapore.
Yeah, you capture the environment really well, the atmosphere. It's great.
Thank you, thank you. And now this is the regular size watercolor paper. This is
Regular size.
It's a the full sheet watercolor imperial size.
Yeah.
So this is quite standard for me. I've been painting in this size in the studio for many years. Yeah, but the long one is really new.
Yeah, I bet that brought a number of challenges. So good on you to do it, and 4 or 5 times as well. Amazing.
So these are and these are the half sheets. I'll do half sheets outdoor quite regularly, almost once a week, I guess I'll say. And this is the second chapter, which is the rustic living, depicting more rural areas within Southeast Asia.
Out of
And
interest, Marvin, how many paintings did you actually paint at the end for this gallery, for this exhibition?
the whole book feature, I think about 70
Wow.
paintings are featured in this book, but they are not painted. Not all are specifically created for this show. Some are older works before COVID. Like you can see, this is 2020. I think that I painted this right after lockdown.
Okay.
And this is a new one. So this
Oh,
is
lovely.
another piece that a lot of people like. It's another panoramic piece of fishing boats in Malaysia, in
Yeah, you've
Sabah,
captured the
Malaysia.
light in that really well.
Yeah, this is like sunset, and then with the boats and the reflections on the water. And this is the one I showed you earlier, John, but this is in watercolor. So I did the acrylic. I can show you the rest of you later. This is the watercolor version. I did this in studio. I did the acrylic live on location during a art event in Borneo Island in Malaysia.
I think you've captured the wooden boards on that painting. If you just go back to that really well, because that's quite tricky to do, I think, to capture to make it look like wood, because you're doing lots of
Yeah.
streaks of watercolor lines, but it really does
Mm-hmm.
look like a natural wood slattered board. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
And did you say that you went and lived in these places to?
Oh, yes. So let me go back to this. Yeah. So this is a actual village house buildings. We call it the long house because they are built. There are several houses built very closely together, and each family like own a house, and then they will have bamboo walkway, which you see on the foreground. It's made of bamboo, a long stretch of balcony. Yeah, so at the art event, they the organizer invited several artists around Southeast Asia to participate, and we live together with the villagers in their house for I think it's 3 days, 2 nights. And it's quite an experience because it's really back to nature. You don't have air conditioner. It's a modern society now. So we have pipe water, we have electricity. Back in those days, I guess my parents' time, this rural area, they don't have electricity, they don't have pipe water, so they have to dig up wells and things like this. Very primitive type of lifestyle. But I'm glad when I went there that there are some modern facilities already. But still, it's quite an experience because you stay with them. And unfortunately, we speak the same language, and surprisingly, some of the villagers there are quite proficient in English. So I can communicate with them in the local language as well as mixture of English and Malay. So we spent 3 days, 2 nights there just creating art. So I saw this view the moment I stepped down. I loved it so much. So I stationed there for 2 days, painted in acrylic. I'll show you the acrylic in a moment. Just
Yeah, yeah.
run through the rest first.
What a
Just
great experience though to be living amongst it and really soaking up the atmosphere.
yes. And these are the smaller ones I paint while on in travel during travel. Some are, I guess, some are older ones. Like you can see, they are 2020. That's done during my workshop as well. And these are I call it travel impressions. Those are sketches and paintings that I did during my travels. I went to Poland right before COVID happened. I went to Poland in November 21. So when I
Oh, wow.
returned from Poland, COVID happened. So I'm really glad that I went before COVID.
Yes.
And this in Penang, a very lovely island in Malaysia. Um, the top left one is a homestay in South Korea. The town is called Gyeong. I don't know how to really pronounce it, Gyeongju or something. Anyway, uh, it's a family trip to South Korea in June last year. And I wanted to experience the traditional living in Korea. So I booked a Airbnb in this kind of a homestay. And because we're traveling in a family with my kids and my wife, so I still wanted to paint, but they don't paint. They want to go sightseeing and shopping and
Yes,
whatnot. So I
shopping.
woke yeah. So I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning
Oh
and
God.
opened the door. It's summertime. It's not that hot. It's not that hot yet, but in at 5 a.m. it's still very cold, and the whole place is filled with morning dew, and it's misty, and it's really beautiful. When I step up and look at the sky, it's still quite dark. It's maybe dawn around 5 a.m. You can see a bit of light. It's cold, it's misty, it's beautiful. So I quickly took out my gear and painted that,
Brilliant.
and I completed it within 1.5 hours, I guess. By the time I finished, all the kids woke up and
Perfect. Perfect. And
and
you've done a good
they're
painting
surprised
as
that I'm
well.
already up.
Yeah. Whenever I work, I don't wake up that early. Well, I do wake up earlier these days, the older I'm getting. But getting out when it's early in the morning it is a
Mhm.
special moment, isn't it? All
Yes,
around the
yes,
world, I think. And you get those,
yeah.
and as you say, to experience that in a different place is great. And
Mhm.
the fact that you're able to
Yeah.
paint it, and then you've got the rest of the day with your family as well. So perfect.
And
Brilliant.
for the record, that's the earliest I've ever woke up to do a painting.
There you go. There you go. Brilliant.
We have a few UK scenes here. So the top right is, it's a very typical farmhouse view. I was driving along um, the Midlands. So it's near. I guess that area is Shropshire. To call it.
Yes,
I was
Shropshire.
in Shropshire. So I was there for a international watercolor masters event, hosted by David Pogson. If you ever heard of him,
Yeah.
is quite a famous watercolor artist in the UK. So I went for the first one in 2018, and but I was driving, so I asked my wife to take a picture of the farmhouses, and I came back. I painted a bigger one, and it's sold to a collector. And then in 2020, I think right before COVID, I did a workshop and painted that as a demo piece.
Brilliant.
And the one below, I think I showed that previously. I can't remember. And the National Gallery.
Oh, you've got the grandeur of
Uh,
that. Yeah, that's really good.
Both paintings are painted at home during the lockdown. So you can see the year 2020, nothing to do.
Nothing.
Luckily, I brought back my paints and brushes. So we locked down for 2 months and created some painting at home.
Ah, yes, I recommend. I recognize Bath Abbey down there.
Hmm.
That's where my parents are from.
Oh, cool. So this is a mixture of pre and post-COVID work. Yeah,
Yeah, and
the core.
St. Ives. I did an art special down there last year. Went and walked around some of the art studios in St. Ives. A really
Mhm.
fascinating place if you like art.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, when I was there, is the weather is not really nice. It's gloomy and
Uh,
raining. And the last one is commission work where clients will either either they directly uh, request me to paint something on. Nowadays, I just let the gallery do the business side of things. So the
right.
gallery will handle the clients, and then they'll tell me, oh, so and so wanted a painting of their house or whatever, and I'll create for them. So for this piece, the gentleman in blue wanted his pet puppy. So I painted. If you can, I'm not sure if you can see it.
I can.
There's a
Yeah, I could
little
see it.
puppy
Yeah.
there. So this was the painting I mentioned earlier to John. It was because of this painting I started to work very closely with the gallery. And if you look at the year 2020, this is a Indian temple in near Chinatown in Singapore. Right before COVID, there's this gentleman wanted artists to commission a painting of this temple, I think because his family goes to this temple. So anyway, I agreed to do it, and then COVID happened. We got locked down for 2 months. I couldn't go out and take any reference picture. So I told them, well, you have to wait, and I don't know how. At that time, we didn't know how long that would be. So he
Yeah.
said, never mind, take your time. Once the world opens up again, then I don't mind waiting. So um, once lockdown's over, I went to take a photo. I painted it and show it to the client. He was really pleased, very happy. And then from then on, I think kind of built a trust with the gallery that they know, okay, I'm able to to work on commissions. And then from then on, that's 2020, so 3 years ago, we built up this very close working relationship where if there are clients who want any commission or if they have any special requests, they will look for me. They'll ask me, Marvin, can you do this? Can you do that? And my answer is always yes. So so from pre-COVID, I was more like a watercolor instructor. I would say it's like I conduct classes, conduct workshops, and because of COVID, um, I can't run any classes. Well, a few online one, but then after that, my direction has shifted from a watercolor instructor to a more like a painter selling artworks, and I think that's the direction I wanted to go as well. So, like I said earlier, I told John that COVID has become like a blessing in disguise. If not for COVID, I'm probably still running classes and not having this art show, this solo show.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on. This is another commission piece, and I really like this one because if you look at the caption, the title, Fond Memories, Weld Road is a place in Singapore. It's nothing like this now. I believe on the left side, there's now a metro station,
Oh,
uh, and you don't see these type of shops anymore in that area. You still see some in other parts, but they've knocked down a lot of these beautiful old buildings and built massive shopping malls,
yeah.
complexes, condominiums, whatnot. So someone asked the gallery if any artist can reproduce the scenes back in the 70s. It
What
looked
it
like this in
used
the
to be.
70s.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
It used to be. So I couldn't go down to that. The place still exists. It's still called Weld Road, but it's nothing like this anymore. So I have to. Luckily, we have an online photo archive by our National Library. So I log in the National Archive, look through all the old photos, and come up with a few. And then it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You know, I have to piece everything in. And the owner of this painting, the one who commissioned me, actually, can you see the mouse here?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the owner of this, the client who commissioned this piece, rather, used to stay in this block here. Yeah, this one. So he wanted this building to be inside, and then I'm free to do whatever I want. So I added all cars, the trishaw, bicycles, Vespa, and he was really pleased with this as well.
Yeah, no, that's really good. It happens all around the world in developing places. We've had lots of old historic towns totally changed with modern architecture.
Yeah.
Sometimes doesn't look quite as good as the historic stuff. Oh well.
Yeah.
All right, you've
Yeah, so
captured
this
the
is all the
cable
modern
car
one.
really well on the top right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So this is the Sentosa Island, which is south of Singapore. It used to be a very like a fishing area, I think like a fishing port or something. And the government rebuilt the whole thing back in the 70s or 80s. Now it become a very famous touristy place. You have, I believe this is Universal Studio, and you have some, there's a casino here, I think, I can't remember. So I don't know why this client wants a picture of this, because he bought Chinatown from me before, and he wants something different. So he said, why don't we paint something more modern? So he suggested this place.
Right, right.
So
This is a
yeah,
big piece because it's 1.3 meters.
yes.
So this is another big one.
Yeah. So this is from the same roll of paper, but yeah, I would say this and a few others are the biggest piece that I've ever done with watercolor, and it took me several weeks to produce this.
Yeah.
This is another modern. This is like campus of a local university. So the dean of this school, this guy here in a white shirt with his puppy, if you can see, commissioned me to paint this.
Another dog in the painting.
Yes. So the dean of the school asked us to paint this, so I did this as well. And look at the year here is 2023 as well. So
Yeah.
it's right in the middle of where I was busy preparing for my solo show. So I
Oh,
was painting works that I want to show in the exhibition. And then the gallery called me up, say, hey, there's this guy who want to commission this painting. I know you're busy preparing for your show. Do you mind do this
yeah.
for short? Just have a break. Don't do your painting. Do this for a while, because he's very eager to commission you to do this. Then I have to push back my exhibition for a few more weeks. So my exhibition was, at first, I think it was meant to be in July, I think. So it got pushed and pushed and pushed until late October because of other works.
Wow.
Yeah. This is another big piece, slightly smaller, 80 by 120. Now you can see for larger works, I kind of become more controlled. As well as for smaller works, this happens in many watercolorists, I think, especially me, I guess, because when it's so big, you are very careful not to make mistakes. Where small, you can see everything in just one quick glimpse. You can see the whole painting. Whereas when it's 120 centimeters, more than 1 meter, you have to stand back a lot to have a full view of the overall composition. So you become very wary of making mistakes. Then you end up painting very carefully, and you see all the lines are very straight. Whereas the smaller paintings usually looks more sketchy or looser, I would say.
Mm, mm. Now we've got Randy Hale watching today, and he's asked a question: what paper do you like to work on best? What sort of texture or
Um,
weight?
I I like Arches the most. I think most watercolorists find that Arches still the best watercolor paper around. Although they become very expensive, they just increased the price again early last year, I think. Depends on the size and the subject I'm painting. I usually work on cold press or rough texture. If it's a big painting like those several over 60 centimeter, those 1 meter and above, I'll use rough because I need that texture to create, some effects. Whereas smaller painting, I usually use cold press. There's another brand I think it's getting more and more well known now over the world. It's called Bao Hong, made in China. They're then still considered quite new to the market. I think they only started like 10 years ago. So they are relatively more affordable. And I do use them as well. And I find that they are quite good as well. Yeah. So I'm basically using these two brands now.
Yeah. Okay. Marvin, that was absolutely brilliant going through that, and I hope you enjoyed that. It was lovely to go through his whole exhibition, and what a variety of different paintings. Absolutely incredible. If you want to write down some words of thanks, I'll read those through to Marvin. Randy said thank you for the explanation on the paper as well.
You're welcome.
Karen said she's just bought some Bao Hong paper and she loves it. So there we go. That's interesting.
Good, good.
So
And it's fraction of the price of Arches. It's like $5 in Singapore here for a full piece,
oh,
whereas
really?
Arches over 10 or $12, if I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's always they always get you when they've got a good product, they always put the price up. So we've been talking about a potential series. So I'm keen to grab Marvin's expertise for a future tutorial series, and he's agreed to look at setting one up sometime this year, and we'll liaise with him. But we're keen to get your feedback on some subjects. So some of the ideas that we've come up with, I would say, looking at Marvin's paintings, and he would describe himself as probably more of a landscape slash urban artist in what he does. So we could do something around that. We could, Marvin's also fairly accomplished. Both watercolor is his number one, but he has done oil and acrylic as well. So it may be potential that we have yes, behind him. There we go. Hey,
So
talk about that.
oil.
Yeah, talk about that
Yes.
big painting. How long have you been working on that for?
So I started this, let me see, in January 2023. If I move away so that you can focus
Yeah.
more on that. Oh, it's still focusing. Maybe I have to go away. Push the chair away. In focus now?
Yes, I think we can see it. Yeah. What is it of? Like a lane going down to
Well, this looks like a
you?
land and a rock here with this little house, and there's like a scooter or motorbike. So I started this way back in January 2023.
Wow.
And at that time we haven't, well, we just started talking with the gallery on the solo show. But I thought I think, did I mention earlier 2 years ago that I just signed on to become the brand ambassador of Royal Talents.
Oh,
The
okay.
so yeah, I guess I didn't because that happened in 2021, 22.
Okay.
So it's what, 2 years now. So I'm the local brand ambassador in the Singapore and probably the Southeast Asian market. So I signed on to be the brand ambassador of Royal Talents, and they asked me to try on several products, and one of which is their Cobra paint, which is a water-soluble oil. So I have very sensitive skin. And ever since COVID, ever since I took the vaccine jab, it has gotten worse. So I got eczema, skin problem. So I asked our local art store if because I want to try painting oil. I did that before, and I just couldn't stand the fumes from the oil paint, and I got rashes all over my hands. So they said, why don't you try this water soluble oil? So they gave me a sample set. So I tried it, painting a smaller ones, and I really liked it. So I thought I'll slowly switch from all back and forth watercolor and water soluble oil. So that was earlier last year. I painted a few. You can see the smaller ones over here. I think
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I was just starting like the first few layers, and then the gallery asked me if you want to do a solo show, but we only want your watercolor. We don't want your oil because I don't produce that many oils yet. So okay, so after February or March, I've been busy preparing for the solo show. So this painting got neglected until I completed the show, and I just started resuming painting it. So it's almost like 90% done, just a few touch up here and there. So it's been 1 year.
Yeah,
Plus.
you've captured the dappled light really well in that. We hosted an artist, just talking about water soluble oils. We hosted an artist. We actually did a series with her, Sarah Wimperis, her name was, and she's an oil painter, but she focused on water soluble oils. She actually did a lot of the paintings. I don't know whether you've seen the film called Vincent. It was on
yes.
Vincent van Gogh. She did a lot of the
I saw that.
paintings. It was kind of stop motion, stop animation, but it was all painted. God knows how many paintings they must have done for that film.
I believe they use that same oil paint brand. It's called Cobra.
It might have been.
Same spelling as the snake cobra, but it's actually I believe to commemorate 3 cities in Europe: Copenhagen, Brussels, and Amsterdam. So Cobra.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll check that out. It's definitely, if you're interested, I'm talking to the audience now, if you're interested in trying oils out, definitely water soluble oils are the way to go. You don't have the smell, as Marvin's saying. Sometimes you can get some allergic reactions off the normal oils, and it's so much easier to clean your materials as well, clean your brushes and things like that.
Yeah, you can just wash it off with detergent and water.
It just takes it ticks so many boxes.
It's a future medium to go. Yeah,
definitely. So definitely try that out, and have a look at Sarah Wimperis on our video library as well, because those were some useful tutorials. Brilliant. And so, yes, if you've got any thoughts for anything that you'd like Marvin to explore. Marvin also mentioned maybe looking at how to paint trees, and I said, maybe we could do that in different mediums as well, or maybe a theme around a particular place. So maybe we could just paint different places within Singapore or Malaysia or something like that. Anyway, any sort of thoughts that you've got, please let us know. You can either do that on the chat now or just messages, but we are going to be liaising with Marvin to sort something out in 2024. So keep your eyes peeled on our upcoming events page on our website. Then I also mentioned we are going to be featuring some of Marvin's work. So we've got a sister site that we set up late last year called Arty Unlimited, where we do a themed tutorials each month. And this month we are doing sketching, and so we've done some curated video tutorials, but also some insights and other things. But each month as well, we launch artists with some original and limited edition print artworks, and this month we are featuring Howard Jones, and we've got some of his originals that he's posted on there, but we have had a chat with Marvin, and we're going to be featuring some of Marvin's original works of art that you'll be able to purchase exclusively on our RT Unlimited thing, maybe next month, or it might be the month after. I'm not quite so sure yet, but it will be there. And the limited edition prints, we will do of those originals But we've got agreement from Marvin to do some limited edition prints of some of the artwork you see behind him. These are paintings that he's never going to sell. These are his his prized possessions. So because you can see them on the wall behind him, that he's got a few. There we go. He's got a few choice pieces there. So we're going to do some limited edition prints of some of his special art as well. So look out for that. I've had a few messages been coming in, so let me just whiz down those. Karen Van Pottick said, so wonderful. She really loved the artworks. Latha said, wonderful collection of works. Thank you so much. Karen said, thanks so much, Marvin, for sharing your amazing paintings. Just love them all. Can't wait to do a series with you. Really looking forward to it. Marianne said, all great, but particularly like the rural scenes. I also have some Bauhong paper and it's got quite a lot of texture. Karen said maybe painting water as a theme, because you've got quite a bit of water in, I noticed, in a lot of your scenes. So maybe doing different views in each class that we do in the series, maybe incorporating water in a particular type.
Yep.
And then Karen said perhaps we could do a series, one in watercolor, one acrylic, one oil. Might be interesting to do different mediums. So we'll have some thought about that. But it was really lovely to host you today and to say hi after all this time. I'm glad your exhibition, and I think a little birdie, i.e. you, told me earlier on that you managed to sell quite a lot of your artworks as well in that exhibition. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And then later on this year, you've got you're doing quite a bit of traveling now that COVID's over. So in March, you're off to Vietnam for an art event, which sounds really fantastic. And May, you're off to Malaysia. So jet setting around.
Yes.
Sounds...
Can't wait for that. Yeah, I really love, travel and then painting on as well. It's kind of, to me, it's like, although it's still doing the same thing, but to get out of the studio and doing painting in different cities, in different environment, really like a breath of fresh air, I would say.
Yeah. And going and living in these little rural communities in different places as well. Amazing experiences. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Marvin. It's been really lovely seeing you again, and we'll be in touch with regards to later on this year. But until next time, it's obviously goodbye from me, but thank you so much to Marvin. Thanks,
Before
Marvin.
that, John, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
Yeah, I promised to show that same painting in acrylic, so just a quickly.
Okay,
just quickly share that. Yeah, can you see that?
Yes. Ah, yes.
Yeah, so you can see the brush strokes there are much livelier, and it's most, I would say the composition is more or less the same, but I find that this piece has more energy because I did it on location. I have to finish it within 2 days because it's done during an art event. Whereas the watercolor piece, I did it in my comfort, in a comfortable studio. I take my own sweet time. So the lines are more, I wouldn't say perfect, but maybe the lines are straighter. So I personally, I prefer this one. I'm not sure about you, but this one has a more energy to it, I guess.
Yes, it has got that movement, that sort of, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And you can see paints dripping down as well, because
Yeah.
when you're outdoor, things happen, and sometimes it's just beyond your control, but you still have to quickly paint it and just finish it in time. That's Brilliant. The beauty of plein air painting, I guess.
Exactly. I think that's amazing for a plein air piece. That's fantastic. Brilliant. Marvin, thank you very much for sharing that with us. That was really lovely. And as I say, until next time, thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Bye, Marvin.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.